And welcome to Desk of Lady Ada.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another Desk of Lady Ada. This is our second video for the Hackaday and Adafruit Pi Zero contest. So we're going to be doing some Pi Zero stuff tonight. You want to talk about this contest? People can enter, win free stuff. Let's talk about it. So we're working with Hackaday.com and Hackaday.io, which is the project site, to bring you a contest where you can win 10 Raspberry Pi Zeros. There's almost none left on Earth. This is the last ones until we get more in. And if you would like one, you can win one for free by entering this contest. Entering the contest is super easy. Go to Hackaday.io and make an account, make a project, and you tag it under the contest entry. And go over the rules really fast. It's contest 9326 something. So this is a $5 Linux computer. Everyone's excited about it. There's limited supply, but I snagged 10 ones for myself, and I was like, hey, let's give them to some well-deserving hackers. So from February 2nd, that's a couple days ago, to February 20th, that's a couple weeks from now, we'll make 10 broadcasts, the second one, and we're going to give you some ideas, hints, tutorials about using the Raspberry Pi Zero, something you can do with it. That will give you some inspiration for your project. And you have a couple weeks to come up with a documented project. You don't need a Raspberry Pi Zero to do it. You can prototype on any other hardware, or you can even just sketch it out without having access to hardware. And then on the February 25th, we're going to pick out the 10 coolest, best entries so far and send those 10 people a Raspberry Pi Zero. And then the contest ends on March 14th, and everybody who, even whether or not you won a Raspberry Pi Zero or if you entered in afterwards, whatever, as long as you entered before March 14th, you will get entered to win one of $300 gift certificates for the Hackaday store. So you could actually win a $100 gift certificate and a Raspberry Pi Zero, and the adoring love of all your fans who really love your tutorial. This is it. This is a lovely graphic that they made. So thank you, Josh and Sophie over at Hackaday, for helping us do this thing. What did I say?
You said Josh, because we just had a meeting.
Sorry, I had a meeting with Josh.
Josh.
Apologies. Josh, if you're also work at Hackaday, you're awesome. I meant Adam and Sophie. I apologize.
Right.
There's a lot of people.
I know.
Names.
I know.
Why can't you go by numbers?
That's why I'm here.
Barcodes? Thank you.
To tell you, and there's also Adam at Hackster.io, and there's an Adam at Hackaday.
And there's a lot of Phils.
There was 3 Phils on the show and tell.
Anyways, all of you are great. Thank you so much for making this contest work. I apologize for getting your name wrong.
There's only one Lady Ada.
I didn't mess up Sophie's name though. So let's get started. Today's video is.
But just to be clear, there's a Sophie who's a senior editor at Popular Science.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. We may have run out of names.
There's a lot of Sophies.
All right. So what do you want to start off with tonight?
Well, I thought what we would do is I would talk a little bit about the video capabilities of the Raspberry Pi Zero, because that's kind of the neatest thing that the Zero can do. Even though it's a $5 computer, it has a really awesome HDMI core inside of it that can do a lot video processing as well as video playback. So despite being a $5, you can play 1080p videos. So I thought I would show how to do that using the Raspberry Pi, and we'll maybe use the Pi Cam and all that good stuff. So can we go to the hover cam for a second?
Yeah. One thing though, were you going to show the output on the Pi?
I'd like to.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get that working. I don't know.
I will. I'll be able to do it
Separately. Okay, so what are we going to go to first?
Can you go to the hover cam, and I'll just show just the Pi Zero. And this is what we covered yesterday, or 2 days ago. So I've got an HDMI cable. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Lock. We've got an HDMI mini output here. So it's a HDMI, and it does audio and video. However, just be aware that for the demos we're going to show, there's not going to be any audio because we're going through a splitter into a thing, and so it cuts out it doesn't come up as an audio capable device, so it's only video. But it can also do digital audio over HDMI. And I have a little USB hub plugged into here that has Ethernet.
Do you know what the Pi resolution is that's going out right now?
There's no output. Okay, I'm about to turn it on.
Okay, that's good to know.
That's why
you know what it's going to be?
It's probably going to be 1080p.
1080p 60?
Yeah, 1080p 60.
Okay, good to
And this is a, don't forget that you do need to have an SD card. There's no flash, there's only RAM on the chip. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
If not, I'll just hold it up.
Yeah.
And plug in the SD card and then power it to give it a good 5-volt USB power supply. And you'll see the green LED blinking. Is there nothing coming up?
Well, we didn't work it out in advance.
Oh,
so
sorry.
maybe next time. We have to show it before. So you think it's 1080p 60?
Yeah, hold on. Let me turn it off and back on. Sorry, 640 by 480. This is the safe mode. No? Okay, that's fine. I will put this under here, and it will be a hack,
Yeah.
but it will work. So this is an HDMI monitor. It's not the loveliest view because you're going from a camera to a camera, but it does work. Actually, let me remove this so I can just put it like that. So you can also have NTSC or PAL out, but I happen to have an HDMI screen. And HDMI screens are nice because they're very crisp and you can do pretty high resolution. So, actually I'm going to just tuck this over here. Great. And okay, so next.
I got it.
Oh, you did? Oh, great.
There you go.
Okay, sweet.
How do you want to do this?
Can I have this in a small box and I
Yeah,
can
do you
type?
wanna-
It's
do you
just
want-
like we did
do you
yesterday.
want it with Hovercam?
No, I want it with the computer.
You
The,
want it with your computer?
Yeah, so I can type commands in like that.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
Live action.
What are you gonna do? Like, you want that?
Yeah, to the side. Yeah, there you go. And I'll just put the serial console. We have all backups. Okay, so that's actually the HDMI video coming out of the Pi. And I set it to 640 by 480 so that it's readable, but you can do 1280p, by the way. Like you can do 1080p. You can do high resolution. For now, I just wanted to make it, and this can do high res too, but to make it visible. Okay, and then I'm going to open up my Desk Pi serial console. So I'm just going to put that over here so I can, can you make the HDMI a little smaller? So you have a little more space here. Yeah, and then I can put that like that. Let's do it. Execute. Great. So log into your Pi. I talked about this yesterday. I'm using a console cable because I don't want to deal with typing commands into the Pi. And the first thing we're going to do is just sudo apt get update. Just make sure you do that. I think we did this yesterday, but it's good to do it again. And I have a backup SD card, so if this doesn't work, I have one that I did all this stuff on already. I've learned my lesson. Okay, Ethernet going. apt-get updating. Still apt-get dance while you're waiting. Oh, there you go. Actually, while I'm waiting, I'll open up a 168.1.158, so you can have two accesses. Okay, just give me a second. Almost done. $99. I'm being a little slow tonight. Okay, it's done. So the first thing you want to do is there's basically two ways to play videos. And I'm going to show command line, but anything else is going to basically use these command line tools under the hood. You can use Hello Video, or you can use OMX Player. OMX Player is like much more full-featured and can do a lot more. And it can also do audio as well as video at the same time. But it's not as fast as Hello World. Hello World is like raw, like pushing data straight to the video core. So we'll install OMX Player, sudo apt get install OMX Player. And it's going to say like, I need to install this stuff. So while this is installing, let's go to Hello World. So it's in opt, is it opt? VC source hello pi. Go here and then you run rebuild.sh and it will build all the raw demos. And a lot of these are the graphics demos and audio demos and such. This is unpacking. And then another thing you'll need to do while this is going, I can show this off. You'll need to create video files that you want to play with, and you can use MP4s or you'll use H.264 codecs. That's what the core uses, and I use Handbrake. So this is a software, open source software that's available for Mac, Windows, and Linux. It's just really handy for converting files. I'm not going to convert the files because I already did that, but if you need to move files from one format to the other, it's always a pain. I was just using Handbrake. Okay, so this is still going. We'll hang out. Meanwhile, I can take questions if there's questions. I'm waiting for...
What chip does the Raspberry Pi Zero use?
The Raspberry Pi Zero uses a Broadcom BCM2835, I think is the part number. It's a chip that was designed by Broadcom initially to be a video coprocessor for probably like set-top boxes or mobile phones or portable devices. And Eben and the crew at Broadcom kind of realized, like, hey, you can actually run Linux on this coprocessor. Okay, so we got OMX Player up. So OMX Player. And, oh, you know what? I have to expand. No, actually I have enough space, I think. Yeah. So next we have to get a video file. So I have a few video files. So I'm going to grab a copy of Big Buck Bunny, which is a free Creative Commons video, so I don't have to worry about YouTube getting peeved later. And then, if I remember correctly, you just OMX Player, and then just the MP4 file, and it'll start playing. And there's also audio, but you just can't hear the audio because it's going through the computer, so you're not going to get the audio. But you can basically play 1080p video. Again, I made this smaller because I wanted to have the resolution of the text visible, but it can do like perfect video output. So if you want to have your project have some sort of video or interactivity, this is usually really, really hard to do with small processors. Like, people always ask, like, oh, I have an Arduino Due. Can I play a video? And I'm like, you cannot play a video. But the Raspberry Pi, one of the things it's really, really good at is playing video. So, this is a huge, long video, and I'm just going to cancel and finish, but you can play the whole thing. And then back on this other side, there's Hello Video. Actually, what is Hello Triangle? I'm just curious. Hold on. I just want to see what Hello Triangle is. Well, that's kind of cool. So I guess you could also do OpenGL, like graphics effects. This isn't a triangle, though. That looks like a cube. Kind of a lie. Hello Teapot. This is probably a Teapot demo. Oh, that's kind of nice. It's gonna go over the text shadow. So So I guess what's nice about this is it shows you like the OpenGL ES code if you want to do native OpenGL code. And there's a, as of like Jesse, like there's more OpenGL support as well. Although I've never actually really used OpenGL since college. Okay, so we wanted to go to Hello Video. Okay, so Hello Video, there is one side effect. Hello Video is extremely fast, and it takes raw video data and pushes it to the video decoder core, but it can only play .h264 videos. And we have a tutorial that I'll point to later on how to convert your videos to that. This is one of those things, sort of like you have an audio player that only plays OGG Vorbis. You just have to convert your MP3s to OGG Vorbis. It's like you don't lose any quality, and it's about the same size, just to be in a different format. So Hello Video, and then I'll see what this test does. Oh wow, that's funny. The test is also Big Buck Bunny, but it's probably a shorter segment. So this this video player is more native, and it's a lot faster. I guess that's all you get from that video. So now that you can play videos and stuff, and you'll also get audio out, you can, you might have to, in the advanced options, select the audio interface and just force HDMI. I'm sure it'll work. You just have to, just in case it doesn't recognize that there's an HDMI device. Okay, so the next thing that I was going to show is once you play video, you're like, well, maybe you want to automate some sort of video playing or video looping, especially if you want to have something loop all the time. Well, you're in luck. We actually have a tutorial to do that. And the tutorial is, it's the Video Looper Guide by Tony DeCola. And we'll play the video in a second to show you more about it, but I'm going to start the installation first. So this software basically does some automatic looping for you, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to just install it by installing Git. This actually takes a few moments. Oh, come on. Go, go, go. You can do it. Yeah, this is the thing about Jesse Lite. You got to install a lot. Oh, goodness, this is going to take a while, maybe.
Well, while we're waiting to do that, tell me when to switch back over, but here is the tutorial.
Oh, yeah, you want to show the video or just the tutorial? That's a tutorial.
Well,
yeah, I thought
and the video is 6 minutes. You want to do that?
Well, okay, how about I install, I'm going to do the installation of the video software.
Okay.
And we can watch the video, which shows it off, and then I'll demo it live.
Okay.
That way we'll get the most
6 minutes
out of our time.
9 seconds. We're on here, but
yeah. So people can still watch me
This is
typing.
the Raspberry Pi Video Looper, and this is a project to display videos using a Raspberry Pi. So you might use this in an art installation, a digital sign, or anywhere that you need to display movies, but you don't want to have a full computer. And you can see I have a little Raspberry Pi connected to a computer monitor just through the HDMI output on the Raspberry Pi. So anything that the Raspberry Pi displays shows up on the monitor here. And you can see it's almost acting like a little appliance, where after I boot up the Raspberry Pi, it immediately jumps to this screen where it starts running the Video Looper application, and it's telling me to insert a USB drive with compatible movies. So I have a little USB stick here that has one movie file on it, and this is just an MKV file that was encoded with an H.264 video stream. And I'll show you in the guide how you can take videos and make sure that they're in the right format. But that's the best format for the Raspberry Pi, since it actually has hardware acceleration where it can play back the movie on the graphics processor. And it can actually play 720 and 1080p videos without any stuttering or problems. So I'll insert this drive into the Raspberry Pi, and let's see what happens after it loads the movie. So the drive is inside the Raspberry Pi. Now you can see it found one movie, so it's telling me how many movies that it found on the drive, and it's going to start playback after a 10-second countdown. So this gives you a good quick chance to make sure that everything's going to work the way that you expect. And then it jumps right into the movie. So you'll see this is just a really simple little video file that has a couple of 3D printer filament spools that are just rolling by. And you'll actually see that this runs in a loop continuously, so the spools just seem to roll on forever and ever. And this is great if you have a movie that you want to play in the background, for example like a kiosk maybe in a museum that's showing some information. You can put a single movie file together that has all the things that you want to display, and this will just continually play it over and over. There's also sound support. I don't have any speakers hooked up and there's no sound in this video file, but you could have either the sound coming out of the HDMI port or the analog output for audio, and you can hook that up to speakers. And you can see that the performance is pretty nice on here. So this is a 1080p video that's displaying at a perfect frame rate, and it appears to loop seamlessly. And the looping is actually quite fast, but there is a small stutter, so you need to be a little bit careful about how you create movies. In this case, I start the movie and stop the movie with the exact same scene, so you can't tell anything is happening when it transitions there. I'll show you something else now too. So if I pull out the USB drive, and I don't really recommend pulling out drives like this, but it's actually mounted read-only, so you can pull out the drive, and there's a very small chance that you might do some damage to it, but it should be okay. And I'll insert another USB stick here. So this one has 2 movie files, and we'll just see what happens that are available on the Raspberry Pi. So by default, this project uses a player called OMX Player that's optimized to use the hardware acceleration on the Raspberry Pi. And it's actually a really nice player. You can throw almost any movie format at it, things like an AVI file, an MKV, an MP4 file. All of those movies should play. The important thing is to make sure that they're encoded with an H.264 video format. Now OMX Player is great, but like I mentioned before, it does have a little bit of stuttering when you loop from the end of a movie to the beginning. And so I do have another video player that you can actually change some configuration in this project to use, and it's called Hello Video, and it's based on a video playback sample code provided by the Raspberry Pi team. And using that sample code, it's a little more efficient, but the problem is it doesn't have any audio, and it's restricted to playing only a raw H.264 video format. So it's nice to have both those options. You can use OMX Player to get really nice looping with audio, or you can use the Hello Video Player backend to get really perfect seamless looping, but only for videos with no audio at all there. And this is really just a great example of something neat you can do with a Raspberry Pi to display videos automatically here. So you'll see that this video is just going to play over and over in a loop. After it gets done with the Apollo video, it's going to go back to the 3D printer spool video that you saw before. So for example, if you had like an art installation and you wanted to show a movie in the background that kind of goes with the artwork, then this would be something great for that. And it's all very easy to use. It's just the Raspberry Pi that you connect to your monitor. You can see the Pi is very small. It's easy to hide this somewhere. You can even probably put it behind the monitor. And then there are a bunch of options you can also change in the software. So there's a configuration file that's stored on the SD card of the Raspberry Pi here. So you can pull out the SD card when the Pi is turned off, and you can open the text file that defines the configuration. And you can change a few settings, like if you want to read movies off of the USB stick, or you can actually read movies off of the micro SD card. You can just choose a directory to read from. You can change the video player between OMX Player and Hello Video, like I mentioned before. And then you can also change a few things, like you can turn off the on-screen display. So for example, when I pull out the movie stick here, then you'll see it comes up and tells me that it's waiting for me to insert a USB drive. So this is all configurable. You can turn that off. You can actually change the background color and the foreground color in the configuration. So there are a lot of options here that kind of give you a little more flexibility in how you want to set this up. But this is really just a great way to make it a lot simpler to play back movies and make them a part of your project using a Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
And we're back.
Thanks Tony D, and thanks for people being patient with the Twitch streaming. This is not done installing, so I'm actually going to go to my other disk, which I already made. So I already made an image that already has the program installed on it. Okay, so 1 second. Swap this out. Swap, swap. Swappity, swap, swap.
What do you want me to go to now?
Can you go back to that desktop and
What?
the view and the thing, yeah. Okay, so going to boot this again. This time with the one that has the software already installed. Turns out installing like all of Python and NumPy takes a few more extra minutes. So I wanted to get to it. Meanwhile, you'll need to also make a USB key that has video files on it. So put up this removable disk. So I'm going to play this Flames MP3 or MP4, which is basically Flames. Looks cool and loops nicely. Put that on the removable disk. Eject. Okay. And then the script will basically come up and say like, hey, install, plug in a USB key. So the USB key, oh, can you add the oval thingy? Nope. So I'm just using a USB key to put the files on, but you can also have the video files natively on the home directory. It's pretty easy. I'll show how you can do that. So you plug in. Always get the USB port upside down, no matter which way you do it. Okay. Plug in USB key. It detects it, and then it gives you a nice little countdown. And you've got like basically, you know, lovely video with like a black bar around it, so you don't have to have any interface. It'll automatically play all the videos in order and loop them. And if you'd like to edit the file, it's actually in boot, so you can plug it into your computer. You don't have to edit it on the Pi. You can just edit it on there. Because when you plug it into a computer, it shows up as a USB disk. And it's called videolooper.ini. And in this file, you can change which player. Again, you can use OMX player, which has audio, or you can use Hello Video, which is much faster. Like if you loop, it'll loop perfectly. Like you'll get no blips in loops, and like there won't be any pauses between videos. It'll be a seamless transition, but you don't get audio. You can have the files on a USB drive that you plug in, and you can unplug it whenever you want because it's mounted read-only, or you can put it in your home directory. And then you can do like an on-screen display, and like, do you want to have random, and what's the background color? Like here's just black. And then what directory, you know, files will be read in, and which directory for USB. You know, you don't have to really edit this stuff. And then what extensions to look for, and you know, whether you want audio to come out the HDMI port or the PWM port, which doesn't exist on the Zero, so you just use HDMI unless you're going to wire up your own audio. That's pretty much it. So it's pretty, like in Hello Video, again, it only does H.264s. So this can be a kind of interesting way if you wanted to add video playback or some sort of like animations or like some effect that you want that maybe you can optimize with video. The Raspberry Pi Zero is actually really, really good at it. Just like it's one of the things that, despite being $5, it can do really, really, really well. You know, you can play full videos at full speed, loop them. You could, you know, you switch between them if you'd like. So I think this would be kind of a building block for some fun projects, especially ones that have interactive components or art components or video playing components.
So just to be clear, the video that's playing on the viewer's left-hand screen is from the Pi Zero.
That's right. That's the HDMI output raw from the Pi that we're just pasting into the video. I can also.
Here's a question: is that video being played via the Broadcom chip, or is there another video chip that's doing all this?
It's the Broadcom chip. The processor that runs Linux also has a video core that basically is very, very good at playing like high-speed video, like high resolution video. So it's nothing that plugged in. It's native to the Pi Zero. You get it free with purchase. It's the main processor.
Yeah. And because this is a contest and people are all you have to do is come up with an idea and post it over on hackaday.io in the Pi Hack Ada contest. Someone said it'd be cool to hook up a Pi Zero with a Pico projector with something like this.
Absolutely. I mean, a small projector, and it has HDMI or composite in. You can do it. I see once in a while people do Halloween costumes where it's like the portal a costume where you see through the person because there's a video camera on the back. Like we could have a webcam, and then it would stream the video from the front, and so you'd have it. You can see through the person. Or I remember there was one costume once that was like it was a ugly Christmas sweater that looked like it had a fireplace, like a Yule log sweater. So they basically had a flaming animation. That's something that you could do very easily with a Pi Zero.
Okay. All right. Well, those are all the questions. Do you have anything else before we go?
No, I just think I wanted to just show off the video capability. I mean, it's pretty amazing what you can do with a Pi Zero. This is something that many computers, I mean, it's like a small computer would struggle with, but it's built in. So I think any project that wants to take advantage of this is an easy one. You got all the software and hardware support all ready to go.
Okay, fantastic. Well, if you check out Hackaday.io, you can see all of the entries. I think they're already almost the 50 entry mark. So it's already moving along very nicely. All you have to do is come up with an idea. There's Raspberry Pi Zero. There's also other prizes.
Yeah, I just want to show that this is also playing on the little monitor. So this monitor is what's being
displayed.
There's an HDMI splitter, which is why there's no audio going to the camera setup.
Oh, here's
High
one.
tech.
Here's one quick question that came in, and we'll do it at the last second. Can you put a TFT on a Zero?
Yes, I think I might cover that tomorrow. I'll talk about how to add small displays and perhaps even how to take advantage of the cat. How to take advantage of the cat to get HDMI accelerated video onto something like a Pi TFT or other small TFT monitor that you've connected. This cat meowed, so now I have to pick him up.
Yeah, that's what he does. Okay, and for all the folks out there, we have Ask an Engineer on Wednesdays at 8 p.m.
That was yesterday.
We have Show and Tell 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That was also yesterday. Today was Noah and Pedro with 3D Hangouts on 3D Thursday. Wednesdays we also have World of Electronics with Becky Stern, 2 p.m. And then we're broadcasting the Desk of Lady Ada throughout the week. We also have Collins Lab and some other things. We have no loans, no venture capital. We are 100% supported by you, the customer, the viewer, the reader, the fan, the community. And
okay, the cat meowed to get picked up, and now he doesn't want to be picked up anymore.
That is what a cat does. So if you want to continue to support programming like this and things online that inspire and make you want to learn, pick up something at adafruit.com. That's what we're here for. It's almost the weekend. We're going to have a couple things broadcasted, and then special treat. We emailed FTDI out of the blue, and they said they would do an interview with us. So we're getting them to answer some questions about counterfeit chips and more.
That'll be interesting.
They
actually said they would answer the questions too.
Yeah,
so
they said they'd answer the questions, and I sent some over from Lady Ada and more. And anyways, exciting stuff.
Flame on.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, if you have requests or suggestions,
and post them
up in the comments
YouTube videos,
or tell Sophie and Adam, not Josh, and we'll try to get to everything. We have 8 more videos after this, so plenty of time to work on your project. Hell, you could watch these videos while you're working on your project.
Yeah.
Get twice as much done.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye, everybody.